All right, so we're out here. I just wanted to do a quick video. I'll do one later on when I sow it too, about dove hunting and dove fields. I've been doing a dove field for probably the last 20 years. Right now it's the second weekend of April, and I'm in central Kentucky. And basically what I'm doing now is all the prep work for this thing. I'm getting all the grass killed out, getting all the weeds killed out. Then around here, at least, it's almost always Derby weekend when you want to get your seeds in. I've done Paradovic sunflowers, I've done sorghum, I've done Japanese millet, I've done German millet, all of it. I'll take sunflowers every day. The great thing about a dove field is you don't need a lot of property to have a good dove field. Now, when you do these crazy videos on here, it won't let you flip it around once you start, I don't think. Anyway, what I've got here is about a 2-acre field, and I'll kind of pan this around and show you, and then I'll show you my setup here. What I've got is about 3.5 ounces of glyphosate per gallon of water, and I've got about 2.5 ounces of 2,4-D. I want to get all this stuff killed out really in one spray, so I don't have to spray it multiple times. And basically I made up a little over 50 gallons. So let me show you my setup here. I got the little mule, but anyway, I got a 50-gallon tank. Ran this through a pickup tube. That pickup tube runs down to this pump. I got a little leak in my pump, looks like right there. I spilled a little. So that's my pump setup, mounted to a board so it doesn't bounce around too bad. Ran that through a garden hose. Ran that. There's your hose coming out. And then there's the pump setup. That hose runs over the top. And then I've got this boom arm that I made. Actually, I didn't make the boom arm. I bought the boom arm. And you can see how it clips on there. And then I just run a strap around both sides to hold it. Now basically what I've got here is about a 2.5-acre field with trees around the sides of it. There's a few more trees. What's in it now is a mixture of henbit. There's some grasses and stuff like that. So this is not a real difficult time to kill out a lot of your weeds and your grasses. But anyway, you want to go ahead and get this stuff killed right now, because these sunflowers, to be ready the 1st of September, you always want them in, if you're not from someplace where you have the Kentucky Derby, ours is always the first weekend in May. So if I get these in somewhere 2 or 3 days on either side of that first Saturday in May, I know that these sunflowers are going to be right to start cutting down. The second week of August, I'll start cutting some strips, and then I'll cut the majority of it down right before season, and then we'll have our shoot. Again, you don't need a big setup. You see my setup there. There's my boom arms and all that. And this is about 2.5 acres. You don't even need this much. The field we used to set up was only a little over an acre. So if you've got a little bit of property, you can have a good dove field. Get rid of the grass and the weeds. That's the real key. No matter what you plant, if you've got a lot of undergrowth in it, you're not going to have a big dove shoot. Just to give you an idea, 5 of us last year shot this field opening day, and all 5 of us killed limits. So this is one of those things that get up on a ridge. You can kind of see here, this field's up on the top of a ridge where birds can see it good, especially those sunflowers when they start coming out. There's some good trees for them to land in. And then I have a little stake that I welded up that I put some decoys on. Starting usually 3 or 4 days before season, I'll put those decoys out to kind of draw them. Just got the little ATV. This is a simple setup, and you can make a really good dove field with just a little bit of property, a little bit of weed killer, and some sunflowers. Now on this 2.5 acres, just to give you an idea, I'm gonna do about 80 to 90 pounds of seed. So that'll give you an idea on how much sunflowers that I'm using. Around 40 pounds an acre, give or take. And again, I've got 3.5 ounces of glyphosate. I've got 2 to 2.5 ounces of 2,4-D with 50 gallons of water. That does about 2.5 acres. So I know when you look at the label on the weed killer, it all says, oh, this and that, and this many ounces, this percent concentration. I don't know what that means, but what I figured out is 50 gallons will do this 2.5 acres. And out of that, I need 3.5 ounces of glyphosate per gallon of water and 2.5 ounces of 2,4-D. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill all this out. I still got a couple of weeks. This will go ahead and die. I'll bring the disc over, I'll run the disc through it. Then I'll put the seed down and I'll run the disc through it again once the seed's down to kind of help cover up the seeds. I did lime this field. I have not fertilized it. I ended up putting about 400 pounds of lime. No, it's a little bit more than that. It was actually 18 times 40. That's a lot. 20 times 40 would be 800. So 720 pounds of lime, give or take. I'm no math major, but anyway, give or take, I'm gonna have about 720 pounds of lime on this field. I probably will hit it with some 10-10-10 fertilizer, but I don't necessarily have to. I didn't last year, and we had a bang up dove shoot. So anyway, just keep that in mind. You can have a great dove shoot on a small plot, but you got to kill out all this grass. That's the big thing. You can't have a lot of undergrowth. And then I'll maybe do a part 2 of this when I'm seeding, so you can kind of see how I seed. I just pull a seeder behind a 4-wheeler. You can pull it behind a mower, just a little broadcast seeder, and then just run a disc over it. If you don't have that, you can rent a drill, what's called a seed drill. You can rent those usually at your local extension service. I've done that too. That makes nice pretty rows, but I don't think you kill any more doves with it, but it does make for nice pretty rows. So anyway, I'll finish spraying all this up, and then probably in about a week and a half, I'll disc it, I'll sow it, I'll disc it again, and then it's wait till August. So there's the first video on making a dove field, and it's super easy. And doves are one of those things that you can get them anywhere. Anybody can have them if you just kind of put out some stuff and you make sure you kill out that undergrowth. So part 1 of a dove field. Hopefully this will teach you a few things about it, maybe how to do it, and give you the confidence to try it for yourself.